All right, guys, welcome to the Help Me Rhonda Show. I've got an amazing guest this week. In fact, she was named by Inc. magazine the top 26 women to change the world. And she is doing just that. I have Virginia Salas Kastilio here in my studio. Lady, welcome to the show.
Such a pleasure to be here, Rhonda. Thank you for having me. We're going to have so much fun.
I know. I'm really excited to have you here because, first off, to be ranked the top 26 women by Inc. magazine is a massive piece of credibility. But that's not the only thing that you're doing. You've also created the I Trust You movement. And I really want to talk more deeply about this because the work that you're doing here, obviously, I met you here in Bali. In fact, we met now, was it 2 years ago from the
Like 1.5, yeah.
Unconventional Life,
yeah.
right? Event. In fact, we met you. Sarah Nelson introduced us and said, "You've got to meet Hanalei Swan." Hanalei was fitting jewels and styling jewels for her event, and we got to meet you. And you became obviously Hanalei's like big sister here in Bali. And I started to really learn more about you. I didn't know much about you at that time, and since then, these last couple of years, it's to say that it's mind-blowing the amount of impact and work that you're doing in just a short period of time while you've been here in Bali, but also globally what you've done is so impressive. So can we start with first about you did a experiment, if you will, and you were in the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
And you stood in the center of Times Square.
Yeah.
And you let people write on your body. Talk about that experience and how that started to fuel what you're doing with I Trust You.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so I've done different, we call them social experiments, like all throughout the world. And I think it's just so important. Like when we talk about impact and we talk about reach and transformation, is, we can do that one-on-one through coaching, we can make videos, but actually standing yourself in public and making a stand and, hugging strangers, or I've also done like eye connection experiments and things like that. And so I would say kind of like the pinnacle of my career was that one that you just mentioned, which is standing for self-love, where I blindfold myself. And this is always important because when you're like staring at someone, someone wants to write on you or hug you and you're just like staring them down, like it's a bit weird, and so it just, you remove yourself in that sense and they get invited in. And there's no forcedness, like when someone's maybe begging on the street or they're playing an instrument or something, they can kind of like hold eye contact and they see that you're not giving money and it's a bit awkward, But so when you're blindfolded, that eliminates that. And so I had a sign that said, "I'm standing for anyone who's ever had a self-esteem issue like me. All bodies are beautiful. If you support self-acceptance, draw a heart on my body." And so that was the invitation. It was like making a stand for self-love. And so it was obviously massively nerve-wracking because it was also really cold in New York. It was like November, and stripping down to your underwear and also in public places like that, I know legalities and things like might be a little bit difficult, and was someone going to stop me? Is there going to be police and stuff like that? So I was really nervous going into it. It was one of the most I guess like courageous things that I'd done until that moment, but it completely changed my life, and it was like just a huge catalyst for my own self-love, for that whole journey in that beginning. And actually, so one of the things that happened is that while I was blindfolded, this man actually told me to move. And
I remember seeing this footage. In fact, we're gonna roll that here, and I'll add it to the very end of this video as well, so they can actually hear it, because it was conflicting. Someone was actually coming in, so you had some love around you and you could start to feel it, but then someone came in and really started to push on you.
Totally, yeah. And so actually also the first few moments, and you'll hear it in the original video, someone screams to me, "Hey, put your clothes back on," while I was taking my clothes off, and so I was like, already it was like frightening, and I was just like, no, just like trust, like be there, be like present, that you have to do this. And so even like when life is pushing back at you and is telling you, no, stop walking in that direction, you continue to walk because And so, so this man was telling me to move because there was a market going on. He's like, "You're standing in the way, like all these people are around you, like people can't walk," and I was just like, "I don't know, like I'm blindfolded." He's like, "I'm sure you could take that off," And so I was just like starting to feel really hurt because I thought I was doing something from a space of love, from a space of connecting humans to each other and to themselves. And then this guy comes out of the crowd and starts protecting me. And it's just like, hey, she's doing something nice for everyone. Can you just let her be? Can you leave her alone? And I just started to cry.
Wow.
Because it was so beautiful to experience being really held and taken care of by this stranger that, it takes a lot to stand up to someone in a crowd.
Well, especially in New York City.
Totally.
I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah. And so I just started like bawling, like I was just like.
Fear, because that actually, someone gave you enough energy to say, it's okay and I got you, and you allowed that.
Totally.
That's a lot of energy to come out.
Totally. And then people in the crowd are like, now you made her cry, and stuff like that. And I was just like, ah. And then so the guy eventually like goes away, and then the stranger goes away. And so that video was called Why the Boy in the Red Hat Made Me Cry. And that has over 30 million views on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube combined. And it took me 3 years, but I found him in the end. Now we're friends. His name is Benjamin, and he lives in New York.
Okay, this is crazy, right? Like, I can imagine anyone even watching this. Like, literally, if you could see, I have goosebumps all over my body just to even think that you put yourself into that space. And how many of us in society, or like in our normal day, we're afraid of society, right? Because the amount of stuff that comes at us. I'd like to go backwards, though, for you, because that was a big moment. And the things that you're doing right now are pretty miraculous, and we're going to go into that. But what brought you into this journey of self-awareness and wanting to give yourself more self-love? Like, what's happened for you? Because I think just that act of courageousness is so big from all women, men included around the world, to say, I'm not my story. Like, what brought that up for you?
Yeah, and it's always like that when, we are amplifying ourselves a lot and stepping a lot into the light. It's because it comes from a lot of shadow and it comes from a lot of pain. And so I've been nomadic since I was 3 years old. I've been to 15 different schools, and in a lot of those schools I would get bullied, and I would be the outcast, like I would be the new girl. And so I always, like, for a lot of my life, I felt like I didn't belong, and I felt like I didn't have any friends, and like I wasn't able to connect. And so I understood what it was like for people and how much pain they felt when they weren't being seen, when they went a whole day without getting a smile from a stranger or striking up a conversation with someone in the subway or in a cafe. And so I felt so disconnected for a lot of my life that when I started coming into adulthood, like 17, 18 years old, I started going on couch surfing and traveling and like meeting people and like becoming more open. I then became like the warrior for the underdog, like for the people that, I felt the way that I felt. And I when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a filmmaker and a writer so that I could reach out, to the little girl in the town in Germany that is getting bullied on right now and feels like she doesn't have any friends, and reach her with my story and say, hey, me too. And it's going to be okay. And when you get older, you're going to have people around you that are going to love you and that are going to care about you. And there is hope, because so much of us are feeling massively disconnected, and like suicide is like, and depression is like a huge thing, and we don't talk about that enough, and there's not enough support systems. So that was my like light for that.
And I love that and you said something really important. This is just recent as well. I was connected with Del Bigtree, and I think you met Del Bigtree as well at the Akasha event.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
What was the name of that event again?
New Earth Festival.
Thank you, New Earth Festival. And Del had just said that just in the last 5 years alone, that our suicide rate for adults has decreased, but for kids between 12 and 16 years old, it's skyrocketed. So there's a reason for that. Like, what's going on in the world, right? What's happening? Del believes that a lot of it has to do with vaccinations, what we're doing to our brain, the food that we're putting in our bodies. But I also do believe it's just is that there's so many kids that were like you that were bullied, and they didn't know what the outlet is. They don't know what the outlet is. And now bullying is being amplified through social media.
Yeah.
Like, Hanalei and I are having a conversation just yesterday. She did a video, and we talked about how people are hiding behind the screen. Like they're so easy. Like when we're face to face, it's a little harder.
Yeah.
You're a brat.
Yeah.
Like you can say it as a kid, but you
Yeah.
don't usually say the things like, how dare you do this to yourself? But they're doing it on a screen. And they're easy to do it on a comment, on a video, or easy to do it on a comment on Instagram. So I think that's what's going on. And so what you've done is you're now representing all these young girls, and I think it's so powerful to hear this, that that's what you were facing when you were a young person, and you do this experiment. So all these experiences that you've gone through in your life are brought you to where you are today. And I Trust You it's more of a feeling. Like when you shared what this is at first with me, I was like, oh, that's nice. It's another group.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of like spiritual people in Bali.
Yeah.
Everyone just does spiritual stuff. Everyone likes to love on each other. And, you know, and like a lot of the 20s and the 30s, there's all these stuff going on. And I live in Bali, and I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's good for you. I'm not totally into all the woo-woo, all the blah, right? But then I started to actually listen and watch, and I'm an observer. And the work that you're doing now with I Trust You, it is exploding, not just on this island, but it's starting to become a ripple effect. Share what I Trust You really is, because it's this. It's like, to me, it's an energy that you're doing. And you are this ball in the middle of it, and it's moving around very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, so share with me what I Trust You actually is and where's it going?
Yeah, so after working for 5 years in corporate IT, I was working for Apple and Oracle. I quit my job and I said, I want to go and I want to, you know, change the world. I want to make an impact. And so instead of like starting some business or whatever, I just became a happiness researcher. I wanted to research what made people happy. And at the core of my research was the one question: how do we bring humanity closer together with one very simple idea? It can't be complicated. It can't have too many layers to it, because then we can't execute it. And so that's where I Trust You was born, which was when I saw this blindfolded experiment where you are in a public space, blindfold yourself, and you have a sign that says, I trust you, do you trust me, give me a hug. And so it's just so simple, just hugging a stranger and feeling that connection and feeling that love, and just like a little moment of magic, and then you go separate ways and it just elevates you. And I was like, okay, great, let's put this into like every life situation. What if I just like have this shirt, it says I trust you, you recognize it, and you're just like, I trust you too, and we hug. And that's it. And in that moment, like, oxytocin is released, we feel connected, we feel seen, we feel loved, and it sparks a conversation. And you're just like, oh, hey, like, oh, by the way, like, what do you do? And oh, I live in Bali. I live in Bali too, you know? And so suddenly there's a friendship. And so that is, you know, it's our way of combating depression and combating loneliness, especially in large cities. And so,
well, being a digital nomad as well. I mean, think about it. What you've done here in Bali with just this I Trust You, I mean, there's a lot of people that are riding motorbikes around, and all of a sudden, boom. And that's what I love the most. You know, and what I love also, obviously, Hanalei, her company made that shirt.
Made this
and that's
shirt,
really when I started to dive into it. I'm like, this is really a big thing. It's way bigger. It's simple, but way much bigger, because now people can identify and go, I trust you, and I know where that's coming from.
Totally.
You know? And so what is that at the core of I Trust You? Obviously, it's about connection.
Yeah.
So what more are you doing? Because now you've got I Trust You University. You've created the Humans I Trust masterminds that are happening all over here in Bali, and now they're going into Envision Fest. Like, this is a big deal. So what is I Trust You? We know it as at the core. What is it creating that's leaving a bigger impact on people's lives, other than just that quick connection and they walk away?
Absolutely, yeah. So now, like you said, it's just grown into so many different things, is because we're listening to our community. Like, what do they need? And so when you're wearing this shirt, it's not only healing you, but it's healing others, you know? So it's like when you're wearing it, you become more lovable. You become more connected to everyone and everything. And so when people start experiencing that healing and becoming more kind of conscious and connected and wanting to do other things and step out of the comfort zone, they're like, well, I need support. Like, I'm living in this town where no one understands me. Like, no one gets all this stuff and all these dreams that I have and everything that I'm talking about. I need other people. So we're creating that network, and we're also creating the education. That's what I Trust University is for, because it's like, here you have support. Like, here's some courses. This is what you can do. This is how you can earn money with this new understanding that you have. And so Humans I Trust is really uniting the world leaders, uniting the entrepreneurs and the people that are standing at the front lines, and they're just like, yeah, I want to do something. Like, here I have this, $100 million hedge fund, and I want to help people with that. Here I'm building all these, clean water systems and all this kind of stuff. And so we're uniting in that common purpose, that not only do we take action and do we build these companies and love to connect, but we're also here to serve the earth. And so the bigger picture of this organization, and it's going to have a lot of different things. Like, I'm also interested, a few years down the line, having our own water brand of how do we bring more water into the world. Like, with every bottle that you buy, we put 2 bottles back into the earth, right, of clean water, or giving it into places that is needed. So it's going to morph into a lot of different things, but always with that very simple goal of bringing more consciousness into the mainstream, of shifting the paradigm from fear into love, which is kind of where we need to get to. And instead of it being like an abstract concept of like you're saying, like woohoo, like hippy dippy stuff, it's just like very tangible steps, like bringing meditation into schools and like having these programs of just having more support. And so, yeah, that's what it is. And it's alignment. And so more things just keep popping up and growing out of that. When people are like, hey, I want to play. Hey, I have this eco village in Bali that you guys can use and can come and bring people and collaborate, because I truly believe that the future of our economy is in collaboration.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And what I see is I Trust You. I mean, it's an entity, like it's a space to create community. And what I love the most, you invited Hanalei, we launched, the course, the How to Be and Raise an Unstoppable Kid, and then you invited that product in there, and you've now have other university or other professors that are providing content. And I think that's important, because it's not just entrepreneurs, it's those that have a vision or they have a dream, and now you're giving them the space and then the education to pull that forward.
Totally.
Right? And when you trust, like we could buy courses everywhere. Like, think about it. There's billions of courses.
Yes.
I've literally launched 134 courses and brands in the last 30 months.
Yeah.
There's so much, like just with my little group, right?
Totally, yeah.
So we can buy courses from anyone. But people buy and will buy courses, and they'll buy and invest in I Trust You University because it's what it stands for, is I trust you. Right? Yeah. So what are some of the courses that are available now that are inside? Because that's a big thing for people to know. Like, you could love this shirt, love the concept, and feel good about what you're saying right now. But I like to always give everyone, especially on this show, like, what are some practical ways, if they love your message, that they can say, okay, I like that environment. So if I want to learn how to be an entrepreneur, or if I want to learn how to do this, these are the professors that you have in right now. And then I want to talk about I Trust You, or the Humans I Trust that's going to Envision Fest.
Amazing, yeah. So, I mean, the first most important course that they need to know about is obviously yours and Hanalei's course. How to be an unstoppable kid, and also how to raise an unstoppable kid and be a conscious parent.
Yeah.
So that's just, I mean, for me also, so that we have this on record, Hanalei has been a massive inspiration that has led to I Trust University being, also launched and accelerated in the pace that it has been, because I looked at what you guys have done for her and the space that you've held for her growth, and I was like, I want to live in a world where boys and girls are empowered to live their dream. And it could be whatever they want. It doesn't have to be a business. It could even be a passion project or something on the side, expressing themselves and allowing their gifts to shine, And so, so that's the first course that they need to know about, which is great because it's for the kids, but it's also for the parents. And what a beautiful bonding experience as well, to do that together. That's something that we should really be bringing into the education system, is like, it should be a family experience. And then other courses is we have breath work, for example, right? So one of the things is that 95% of people are breathing the wrong way right now. We're breathing very shallow. And that's what's causing all of this cortisol and all this stress in our bodies, that we're constantly in this fight or flight mode. And so one of the best medicines that you can give to yourself is to just take a deeper breath, And it sounds like hippy dippy stuff, but it works,
No,
and it's like
science.
so
It's not
scientifically
hippy-dippy.
proven.
Science.
Yeah, just do it right now as you're
I
watching.
breathe, I meditate. I have to do breath work like that because I'm a type A, right? And I run hard.
Me too.
Right?
I'm the same. Yeah.
If I don't know how to regulate,
we will continue to go.
Exactly, and then eventually combust, right?
Totally.
Our nervous system needs to regulate. So that's a big course.
So breath work is amazing.
Yep.
Then we have the Mind Lab Institute that has their own course on biohacking and future mapping your goals, really teaching your brain how to think about the future, because our brain is mainly thinking about the past.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if you're only thinking about the past and working on the past and trying to create things from the past, then you're only going to get more of what you have.
Yep.
So this whole like law of attraction manifestation thing, it's actually just very easily scientifically proven. And one of the ways to think about the future and to step into a new reality is stepping out of your comfort zone and in going down a pathway. If an idea kind of scares you, that's a good one. Go with that one.
Yeah.
And so that's another one of the courses. Then we have 2 doctors also on our faculty that have both been in traditional medicine for many years and have now turned entrepreneurs and are inspiring thousands. Most of our professors are all international speakers. So one of the doctors, actually Dr. Charlena, she was a gynecologist that has now turned sex and relationship coach. So she goes to like conventions of like 5,000 people.
She knows the internal
Exactly,
workings.
she is amazing, And then we have Matt Gill that used to work for Lisa Nichols, which is one of the top Mind Valley professors, and he was with her for 12 years and now has his course on motivating the masses. He's worked with hundreds of thousands of teenagers and families. And has brought education into there. So we're really excited about our lineup. And then of course I have a course as well about entrepreneurship, and really for people that are ready to step it up, especially with their personal brand and social media. So it's a really great lineup. We have free masterclasses. So if people want to come and check it out and just be like, hey, I just want to experience a 1-hour masterclass, then come on I Trust University and just see the magic, and it's going to keep on growing and keep on unfolding.
No, I love it because that gives you, that's like, gives someone something that's tangible, right?
Totally.
It's like, okay, I love the concept. Now this is something tangible. I can learn from here. I can send my kids here, right? If there's families or parents or like, or a 20-year-old and they need something, like guide them to I Trust You, because it's also a safe place. Next then is you're hosting the Humans I Trust Masterminds, but you're also going to have a booth for the very first time in Envision Fest.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're really pulling the thread here.
Yeah.
What's going to happen at Envision Fest, and why is it such a big deal? And why should people go?
So, like, let me first paint you a picture. On Sunday, I fly to Davos World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Like, this is like, the great of the greats. Like, we're talking about, the president of Germany is going to be there, like A-list celebrities like Matt Damon, like, like all these types of people are going to be there. World leaders are coming to connect, right? Like 200 private jets are like flying in. And so, you know how difficult it is to sort of like approach someone? Like if there's like a world leader, like you need to get to 5 different people to get to that person, right? And so imagine these people at a festival just hanging out with you, like just chilling, like in crazy outfits and like glitter all over, eco glitter, obviously. And you just like hanging out with these people for a week, right? And in a special camp, it's application only. It's really game changers and leaders coming in to just like have fun and hang out, but also to mastermind. Also, we have our own like big stage. We have the people from our camp that are actually speaking, right? Because everyone that's coming is a high level entrepreneur, game changer already. And so a lot of people that are actually going to the World Economic Forum with me are going to be coming as well. And one of the things that I'm doing when I'm there is like I'm recruiting new amazing humans to Humans I Trust and being like, hey, you're awesome. Like not only are you doing impactful things at a global leadership level in the world, but you're also just cool and I want to hang out with you. And so that's what the Humans I Trust camp is going to be. It's going to, like, we're going to have our own lounge. We're going to have, like, we're all going to be, like, selling coconuts as well. So the best coconuts at Envision Festival will be in our camp. So that's always important. And so, we have like VIP bungalows and, with like beds and mattresses, like it's nice. So if like Fire Festival had like really happened, like this is what it would be like.
So this is like, to me, it sounds like it's a Burning Man for more conscious human beings.
Yeah, and also like really, also entrepreneurial and business-driven people, like people that are looking to find business partners and clients and to collaborate and co-create, and that really want to know who this person is at the end of a 7-day
At the
festival.
core, yeah,
you know what I
because-
mean?
yeah, exactly.
At a business meeting, we can like all day, every day. Oh, I have all these contacts and I have all these connections.
Nice to
you know?
meet you, and then you're gone.
Exactly.
And you only call them when you need them. I love that because we went to Burning Man recently and it was really cool, but there's like that much that we really took from it.
Yeah.
So this sounds like something that's really impactful for someone
Targeted,
that's conscious. You want to find a targeted connection audience. When is Envision actually?
So
And where is it?
So it starts on the 20th of the 2nd, 2020, which is like the best day that we can have in 2020. So the 20th of February, and that's the 4-day experience. But then we're also opening the days 3 days earlier for people that want to have more contact with the acts and the bands and everything. So people can already come from the 17th of February. So it's basically like, 2 weeks away from now. So I
wish we could be there. We're going to be in New Zealand for a wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Hanalei really wants to go. She's heard about it because that is something that's like the epic Burning Man space to go, especially if you're conscious or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and also without the desert, without the headaches, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're right on the ocean, so you're from the camp to the ocean is a 7-minute walk. You know what I mean? And so like in Costa Rica, like with the jungle.
In Tamarindo, what area?
Dominical.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And that. So it's just super fun. So it's like Burning Man without the headaches. Like targeted people. It's 8,000 people in the total festival in general, which is also amazing exposure. For any brands or people that want to bring out their stuff. Like we're obviously bringing the I Trust You shirts. So. The Unstoppable family will be present. And I also love the jacket that you're wearing right now. I think if we put the I Trust You in the back of that and have that as a special edition, for the speakers and stuff like that.
Brand new.
I love that. So,
eco-friendly materials.
Perfect.
Right? It would be fun. Okay, this is awesome. I love this. And really, Virginia, I mean, I continue to get enamored by what you're doing. Being a mother, watching Hanalei, being a business owner. I stay pretty much in my lane.
Totally.
Right? I stay in my lane. And then, of course, like we've wiggled out of our lane. We're a very spiritual and conscious family.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that go on in Bali that I'm like, it's just not my style, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, we have become ecstatic dance lovers. And I tell you, it's like an experience that takes you out of your comfort zone. I think that's what I Trust You does. It brings people into a space of safety, takes you out of your comfort zone, right? And allows you to really see it. I've been watching and seeing, and we're very honored that you invited our course, Hanalei, into I Trust University. I want to make sure everyone that watches this gets their hands just inside of that university itself, so you can have a piece of each and every one of those courses. And is there space still open for your camp at Envision? What could people do more to stay connected, whether they come to an event here in Bali and in a Humans I Trust event? Like, what's going on next? Like, where can they find you, and what can they do next?
Yeah, so the best way is always on Instagram at Humans I Trust, because like our whole team is on there, I'm on there, and I just love having that one-on-one conversation. Yeah. It's like, don't follow us, don't whatever, like talk to us, So just send us a message at Humans I Trust on Instagram. And we have an application form for Envision. We still have spots left. We're going to be like 150, maybe 200 people in total. So there is room. 90% of Envision tickets are already sold out. So we have our stock that we have there. So if you want to come and you feel the calling, like please just message us. And then, at I Trust University, on URL, just itrustuniversity.com is perfect. And then also just contact me personally. Like I'd love to hear from anyone at Virginia Salas Kastilio. Just chat me. I do check my messages every day and I really try to respond to everyone. And yeah, I just love hearing of people in general that are entrepreneurs, that are looking to make a change in the world and are looking for a community of people that they can trust, that have aligned values, and that go to epic events, all over the globe.
Yeah, I love it. And make sure to everyone, if you are watching this, you need to make sure that you're following Virginia and her stories and Instagram, because she's all over the place. Like, seriously, it's so hard to keep track of her. And I'm wild and crazy in Taipei. Seriously, I don't even know what is going on with Virginia. I have to check in with her and go, okay, that's what's been happening. Because there's so much happening. But you know what? If you're going to move, you want to do something, you want to make change, you have to always be evolving, right? Because the moment that we stand still is the moment we're starting to rot, right? We always have to be ripe and ready and keep going, and that's something that you're doing. And I want to thank you for being a big sister to Hanalei. Thank you for making the impact that you're doing to inspiring more people and to creating a space that allows people to really feel safe. Not that girl that was hiding before, that was getting bullied, that has to put themselves out there in the middle of New York City. Like, most won't do that, but they will know someone that did, and they can get inside of your space and know that they're safe. Like, I think that's what I think was the most impactful piece about the Humans I Trust events that you have. A lot of these people are just looking for a real connection, and they're looking for someone to stop riding the motorbikes this way, but come together. And I think you're doing that here, and I know you're doing it around the world. And you know, we're just happy to keep talking about it and sharing it and promoting it. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
I
for
really,
having
really
me.
appreciate it. All right, now let's just really get real with ourselves. What kind of impact are you doing? What could you do right now that could just help change someone else's day, not the world? Yeah, Virginia might be changing the world with her impact, but dang it, she started with that one day. One day to look at herself in the mirror and say, you're worthy. And no longer are you going to have to hide behind the mirror or the people that the society is telling you that you're not worthy enough. What could you do right now, one day? Join the I Trust You movement. Be part of this amazing group of human beings. Be part of their university. Educate yourself through consciousness, not through what everyone else is telling you or what everyone else is doing, because you're going to probably have to peel that onion afterwards in order for you to soak in this information. So thanks for being here, guys. Virginia, thank you for being here. I'm going to leave you with one thing. If you're going to create a brand, create a sexy brand. And if you're going to be anything, be unstoppable. We'll see you guys in the next show. Brand awareness is key in today's modern digital era. And with the rapid growth of social media platforms and the simplicity for all brands to compete on the same playing field, business owners have to start getting creative with how their brand message reaches their clients and customers. Hi, I'm Rhonda Swan, the CEO and founder of the Unstoppable Branding Agency and the Sexy Brand Building Formula programs, where we help our clients create a sexy brand through strategic brand marketing, image, and film. I believe every small business owner deserves to stand out in a sea of marketing messages and make their competition irrelevant with the right brand image, brand message, and strategy. If your brand and marketing is well thought out, but design and images look terrible, no one will take your business seriously. If your design is beautiful, but your marketing message isn't planned out so strategically, it will fall flat on its face. That's where our team comes in. We help our clients restructure their brand image with photo shoots and create a winning combination of strategic brand building through impeccable design and great storytelling through film. The world of business has changed. Because of social media, customers and clients are looking for transparency and connection. A business owner can no longer hide behind a website or rely on their services to attract the perfect client. They want realness, and they want to see the truth behind the brand. As you can tell, we do things differently. And if that excites you, I want to invite you to book a consultation or join us at our upcoming VIP branding retreat and let us help you turn your brand into a sexy, profit-making machine.
This footage still makes me emotional. What the boy in the red hat said wasn't very out of the ordinary. His words were simple. In order to properly explain to you how I felt and why I began to cry, you'd have to strip down to your underwear holding a sign that confesses to complete strangers that for the most part of your life, you've struggled with self-esteem issues.
Miss, excuse me, miss. There's a market going on here right now.
Am I standing in the way?
Yes, you are.
Oh, I can't see anything.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure you can take that off.
And then you walk in.
Can you leave her alone and let her be here?
This is a market we're running here, man.
Give her a break. She's doing something nice and cool.
No, she can move back.
You can stay where she wants also.
I didn't cry because I was sad. I cried because I was so touched that in that moment, He represented all of us. He represented our collective consciousness, our social awareness. He was my protector.
I'll listen to that.